Hello everyone, working on a Chevy Cruze. Major complaint was some knocking noise coming from the front end. My friend's daughter owns this car and he said it's driving her crazy. Well, pulled the tire off, of course had to jack it up first and everything, using my jack stands. Believe it's this sway bar, link bar right here. Got a little bit of play in it. Not a whole lot, but it's enough. It's not supposed to be like that for sure. I could hear it's dry. Hasn't been greased. Even though it's got zerks, they're dry. There ain't no grease. You can hear that. Do this at about 50 or 60 or more miles an hour and see how, yeah, this top one's real loose. So I'll be pulling this off. And he actually bought a strut for it, the whole assembly. And I told him, I don't think that's it, Tommy. But just from some research, I believe it's this right here. So most of the ones I've seen are plastic. It's actually metal. So I want to see if I could sneak in there. Probably put some WD-40 or something and break it loose. I believe there's something you could hold right here with a wrench to get in between to keep this from spinning. And it's gonna have to be kind of thin, but we'll figure it out. I believe this is 18 millimeter. I'll confirm that with you later. Okay, just gonna put this back on here for you. I was able to break it free using a 18 millimeter wrench with a 18 millimeter socket using my Husky cordless ratchet, which I highly recommend. This is a cheap one, but it does good for me. I've used it. It's not as strong as some others that are more expensive. It's only 60 bucks, but I watched the comparison and it actually does pretty good for what you get, for what you pay. Hear that? I believe this is the issue. Like I said, do this about 70 miles an hour. This will probably drive you nuts. And then probably resonates. Then this bottom one is pretty loose. So I believe this is the issue right here. All right. That's that. Gonna bust the bottom one off now. Okay, I was able to take it off. 18 millimeter, right? Wrench, socket, impact, whatever you want to use. Cordless ratchet. This one was fine for the top, but the bottom one was on there really good. I mean, that's like must have been getting hot, and it kind of welded itself, the bolt to the shaft of that. So I used two wrenches to, little by little get it off, take the bolt off. So what I would recommend is some ratcheting type wrenches. That would have made it a lot better, a lot faster, just a lot easier, instead of microbite by microbite, taking it off, which I was able to do. I just don't have those. I have them. I just don't have them on my truck, Got so many things on my truck already, but that would be nice to have. Other than that, I mean, it came off pretty easy. Not bad at all, really. I just got a price one now. It's a sway bar end link or something like that. Anyways, I'm not too sure about the nomenclature, but I believe this to be the problem. And I believe this is a 2016, so they might have corrected the plastic one. The issues that they were having with the plastic one, it was probably recalled. So they went with this metal setup here. But Not so much that failed. I think the lack of maintenance is what caused this to fail. Because it's got Zerks on it. So it could have been greased. It's really notchy and clicky. I can feel it. It's locking up. It's not supposed to be like that. This one's pretty loose. And it might have been actually knocking just enough. But I'm going to go ahead and price one and put it back on. Okay, it turns out the end link is bad. One end of it is. But it turns out also it's the strut tower housing. I said when they started saying that it was pretty loud, I started doubting it was just the end link. But there's something that I did here, and it caused it to make a bunch of noise. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this as well. Started off by undoing these clips down here to remove this. Bunch of clips all the way down. There's a cap that covers the windshield wiper arm, and you remove this bolt right here that sits on top. The caps, you just push them off. It's a 15 millimeter. The caps, you just kind of use your thumb and push them up, and they come out. Okay, from there you can remove the top part of this, and there's these little Torx head screws right here, and I believe they probably go all the way down here too. Once you remove that, the strut. Okay, this is the wiper arm assembly. There was a nut holding these on right here. Once you take the nut off of the shaft there, it's kind of hard to get the assembly off, the wiper arm assembly. So I just pretty much pulled up and down, and it freed loose. But I did shoot a little bit of WD-40 in there. And like I said, just pull up and down. It's gonna feel stupid or look dumb, but it broke loose. So I didn't have to press it out or push it out or do anything stupid or have any special tools for it. But that's it. Here's something else I recommend while you're here. It's a lot of debris. Actually took some out, but you know how the cowl vents get a bunch of leaves and stuff depending on where you park. It's a good time to clean it off right now. Got this little shop vac, handheld, battery powered setup, so recommend doing this while you're at it. Okay, went from a sway bar end link to actually being a little harder, a little worse. It's actually the strut as well. The housing, I believe, is messed up or something in it. So first thing you do to start removing this, you gotta start with the windshield washer arms. There's two. There's a little cap on there that I pushed off with my thumb. This is a 15 millimeter bolt. Same thing for that side. Unclip this cover. There's two pieces. There's clips that you squeeze together with your thumbs all the way down. Once you do that, there's Torx head screw. There's the top of the strut. It's in a weird spot because here's a whole engine bay. It goes all the way up under here. If you look at the angle, this is it right here. So once you remove this cover, your access to the bolt, which is down in there. And you're gonna have to hold the shaft of the strut and the bolt turn at the same time so you won't spin, and just sit there doing nothing. So that's that 2016 Chevy Cruze Premier Start with the sway bar end link. That was bad. Also, but the main culprit to the noise that they've been complaining about, I believe, is the strut and the housing. And so I'm going to get to that. Okay, well, here's the latest update. Strut bar end link. One end of it was bad. Having him get a new one. Also, turns out the actual the sway bar end link, I think I said strut, but the strut is bad too. Something to do with the housing was loose, shaking, making a bunch of noise. So that was very, very easy to take out. I put some tension on it with the jack, put it under here, pushed up a little bit. Did I need to do that? Probably not. But it helped release some of that pressure that was on this here. 18 millimeter. All right. I used the impact 18 millimeter bolt, broke that. Use something to tap this out because it's got a like narrow end that pressed in. Top side, 3 bolts that hold this top of the strut assembly. 13 millimeters. There was a cover here that sits on the cowl. Remember, I told you snap it here, unsnap all the way down. I also said Torx screws. These don't need to be removed. There's just little caps right here with a common flat screwdriver. You can pull them off. Even this dust cap here. And you can get to the assembly. So once I took these off, took some of the tension off of the jack, undid these with the 18 millimeter impact, use a hammer to tap them out. The whole assembly, you know, don't forget to take the tension off. The whole assembly just popped right out easily. And he's on his way to AutoZone to get the parts. $75 is what AutoZone's charging for the strut assembly. The end link's like 20 bucks. So something you can do yourself versus pay a whole lot of money. Highly recommend doing it yourself. Now, there's plenty of videos online. Don't have to be this one, but 2016 Cruze Premier RS. I don't know if that makes a difference, but strut tower assembly. Get the loaded one all together. You don't have to mess with the spring and decompressing that and all that. That's dangerous. Buy it loaded, and might as well do them both if you can. The end bar, sway bar end link. The links, get those two. They're cheap. Just get it done, you know. You could do it yourself. Just don't be afraid to start it. You know, of course, be safe. Use the safety equipment. I'm using the jacks. I'm doing one side at a time. And, you know, pretty easy job. It's not too bad. So I'm pretty sure anybody could do it. All right. Thank you.